his usual Mondays with Mooch segment. You've known this kid for a while, and you've been text buddies with him every now and then. But did you even expect this type of 2015 performance from the first overall pick, Steve?
Well, you know, in both 1 and 2, Mariota's doing a good job too.
Yeah.
And you don't know how well they'll do, Rich, because the team that they're on, their supporting cast, is in transition. There's a lot of building to do on both sides of the ball. So you just never really know how fast they'll start. But Jameis Winston, we knew coming out, was a smart kid, 4.0, right? He was highly recruited out of high school. I had him, he was played in the Under Armour All-American game. He was a winner. He won all the awards and championships and all those things that you strive for as a great young player in college. So it was a matter of him doing all the right things on a daily basis, being the hardest worker, being serious about his craft, being a good teammate, taking the losses. Remember his first loss? They had Marcus Mariota come to Tampa and just blow them out. And all of a sudden, people were saying, uh-oh, maybe we took the wrong guy. He's a resilient guy, too. And some of the adversity, water off a duck's back. So the kid's got it now. He's got the competitive nature. He's got the smarts. He's got the resiliency. And he's going to grow with this team. He's got some good weapons, too.
Yeah, I know.
So I like where he's headed.
And the game, the game was sealed by the defense, however, as Matt Ryan threw yet another interception in his string of games that have been interception-laden for Matt Ryan. What has happened to the Atlanta Falcons? Once upon a time, 5-0, now 6-6, Steve.
You know, Rich, when they started the season, and Dan Quinn was a guy that I hired in the National Football League, their head coach, and they start off 5-0, and they did a good job starting off 5-0, but I think it was a little bit of a false positive. You got to remember, they played the weakest division, you know, with all due respect, the weakest division in the NFL, okay, the NFC East, and they swept all of those teams. They played all 4, and they beat them all right? And so, you know, you win some close games and all of a sudden say, oh, they've got this team turned around. This team needed a lot of stuff on offense and defense for their rebuild. Well, they're going through the rebuild. And right now they're 6-6. Matt Ryan is pressing. He's trying to carry this team on his back, and he's forcing the ball at times. And so they're not there yet. They play Carolina twice, oh boy. So maybe they finish 8-8. And you know what? When it's all said and done, we could say, oh, they're in a slide right now. But if they finish 8-8, that'll be a good start for a new staff, Dan Quinn, because they weren't 8-8 last year. And so, you know, they're making progress. They've got to build their defense. They've got to build their offensive line a little bit better. So that's where they are right now. I don't know that they make the playoffs.
A couple of questions I want to ask you. One that we almost made our poll question today is, which team is the dreaded playoff team you would not want to face, Steelers or Seahawks? If you had to choose between those two teams, or Chiefs, we'll throw even your Andy Reid Kansas City Chiefs, your buddy Andy's team that's won 6 in a row. I'll throw that at you. Which one would you want to face the least?
Probably the Seahawks. And you mentioned Andy's doing a great job with that team over there. Man, I'm proud of Alex Smith. He's really playing well right now. And the Steelers they're back. I mean, they're a scary team too. But the Seahawks, they've been to the 2 Super Bowls lately, win one and lose one, and that's a team that Russell Wilson is growing into a pocket passer. Are you kidding me? You know that defense over there, the Legion of Boom, is that's scary. That's going to keep you up at night because they're playing very well. They really did a great job against the Vikings in Minnesota, held Adrian Peterson to 18 yards rushing. And so probably the Seahawks would be the team that would be really dangerous because they know how to win playoff games.
Yeah, it helps to have a pocket in order to have a pocket passing quarterback. And has Seattle solved their offensive line problems, do you think, Steve?
You know, Tom Cable does a good job over there with that offensive line. They had some changes and injuries, too, a little bit like the Patriots, but they seem to be getting some of those things cleaned up. They seem to have enough balance in their attack to keep defensive pass rush off balance. And then if it breaks down, Russell Wilson takes off. So, you know, I even without Jimmy Graham, without beast mode Marshawn Lynch, they're replacing those guys in a nice way. And I think that this team is going to be really dangerous when it gets in.
All right, ask Mooch the poll question. Brockman, go ahead. RichEisenshow.com.
All right, Mooch. There are 3 10-2 teams in the AFC. Which is the best? Broncos, Bengals, Patriots.
Which one? 3, 10, and 2
Patriots.
teams. You didn't stutter.
Did I stutter?
No.
Patriots.
Why would you?
I'll tell you why. You're going to go, well, the Broncos beat the Patriots.
Oh, well, if I said that, I don't think I'd sound like that, Steve. Even if I did say it, I don't think I'd sound like the way you just said that, Steve. I don't think I'd sound that way.
If my chicken had lips, I could whistle. But you know what? The Patriots shoulda, coulda, woulda beat the Broncos in Denver, right? With a banged-up team. They had a lot of subs in that game, all right? It went right down to the wire. This last game against the Eagles, that's a bad loss at home, let's face it. But you know what? They had 3 miscellaneous touchdowns scored against them. You never win. You should get blown out if you have 3 miscellaneous touchdowns. A pick 6, right?
Yep.
You have a punt blocked for a touchdown. You have a punt return for a touchdown. That will never happen again, all right? But they're still in the game. It's still a one-possession game. So when they get healthier, and they will, believe me, Gronk's coming back, right? Edelman's coming back. And so that offensive line that they've had to put together, they're trying to solidify some of the things, and hopefully they'll stay healthy. Jamie Collins came back. The Patriots are the dangerous team in that division. And I know they have 2 losses in a row, but they are going to get healthy.
I'll tell you, though, the Steelers have a lot to say here. And by that, I mean this. The next game for the Bengals is their home against the Steelers. That's next. And then the Steelers, after that, go to Denver. So the Steelers have the next 2 games against 2 10-2 teams, and then those 2 10-2 teams that they're facing next face each other on Monday Night Football. And if the Patriots could just keep winning from here on out, they might be able to get back into a bye week position. Because if they don't, I think whichever one of these teams is left without a seat, I don't think can make that run in the playoffs with that extra playoff game to get to the Super Bowl. That's a crucial development right now in the AFC.
Yeah, it is. And those teams, you mentioned the tough schedules they have, and the Patriots have a favorable schedule, probably 4 games that they should be favored in, whatever that means. And I think that they will get a bye. I think the Patriots will get a bye. Whether they're the 1 or the 2 seed remains to be seen. But, yeah, it's this AFC thing is going to go through Foxborough.
You think so? When it's all said and done, you think New England's going to still get back into that bye week position?
I do. At least number 2, for that bye.
All right, Steve, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. You got
Matt Willig. Make sure you have fun with Willig. He's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Matthew Willig's coming up, you know. Should I ask him about some of the stories that you told me?
No.
I should not?
No, you shouldn't, Rich.
Because there's one.
You might bring him up.
I should, okay. But at least it's information that I have from which to ask Willig questions about the locker room days. You're turning, by the way, radio audience, Mariucci is turning San Francisco 49er beat red right now. You're on the Rich Eisen show.
Shouldn't. I had nothing to do with that.
I know you had nothing to do with it. You're just the coach right in the middle of it. Okay.
I'm just a coach.
All right, Steve. Thanks for joining here on the Rich Eisen show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.